Looking to your flyer, I invite you to join me in saying the promise. I will not be a part of the killing of any child, no matter how lofty the reason. Not my neighbor's child, not my child, not the enemy's child, not by bomb, not by bullet, not by looking the other way. I will be the power that is peace. Thank you. And now, my dear friend, Reem.
As Christmas approaches, my heart and thoughts drift back to Palestine, particularly Bethlehem, the birthplace of Jesus. I recently saw images shared by a Christian Palestinian friend on his social media capturing baby Jesus wrapped in a keffiyeh, a Palestinian scarf just like the one I'm wearing today. Baby Jesus in these images is under the debris inside my friend's church in Bethlehem. The image shows how Mary, Joseph, the shepherds, the wise men, and animals are all separated from baby Jesus because of the debris of the Israeli bombing in Gaza. When I look at this image, I am reminded of the children of Gaza, who are isolated and besieged there, without access to water, food, shelter, a diplomatic solution to their blockade, or even human angels to help them, such as doctors, aid workers, to ease their unstoppable pain and suffering. Church leaders in Bethlehem, Palestine this year made an unprecedented choice. They will not have Christmas festivities, but they will observe Christmas in prayer. In an interview with AJ+, one of these church leaders said, "If Jesus was born today, he would be born in Gaza, under the rubble." We see the picture of Jesus in every child under the rubble in Gaza. This is an expression of the meaning of Christmas. God is with the suffering and the oppressed. End quote. The keffiyeh I'm wearing, similar to the one hugging baby Jesus in Bethlehem's churches, symbolizes my connection to my Palestinian struggle and endless hope for freedom and peace. The keffiyeh contains bold roots symbolizing our historic connections to the world through trade and cultural exchange. I grew up under the Israeli military occupation in the West Bank, where I was not able to enjoy free movement and had to show a green identity card to cross military checkpoints where I had to wait for hours or feel humiliated or scared just because I was born on the other side, just because I was a Palestinian. I also often saw the ruins of the historic trade and cultural roots scattered in my hometown next to the separation wall, where I was constantly reminded of my imprisonment. I hear the stories of what life was in Palestine before the military occupation, but I have never been able to live that life there. The situation for people in Gaza has been even worse. They were cut off from the entire world and have lived under 16 years of illegal blockade. The second symbol on the keffiyeh is the fishnet motifs, which reflect the strong ties of Palestinian fishermen and sailors with the Mediterranean. Many of the Palestinians who lived by the Mediterranean and enjoyed the travel routes have become refugees in 1948, when Israel became a state. 700,000 of them, according to the United Nations. In fact, half of my own family on my mother's side are refugees of 1948. It's worth mentioning that the other half of my family on my dad's side were displaced for 3 weeks during the 1967 war. Just like the people of Gaza today, the relentless Israeli strikes since October 7 have resulted in over 17,000 Palestinians killed. and displaced approximately 1.9 million, constituting the majority of Gaza's population. When I wear the keffiyeh, I am reminded of my family's suffering, the Palestinian refugees scattered around the world in refugee camps, especially those in Gaza, mostly original refugees from 1948. Now, once again in 2023, forced to abandon their homes, positions, schools, toys, playgrounds, and hospitals due to relentless bombings, just like my family. The keffiyeh represents a duality. Although our Palestinian heritage is full of pain, loss, and suffering, yet it is a reminder of our quest for freedom, connection, and peace. The last pattern on my keffiyeh displays olive branches from Palestine. During my childhood, on car rides with my parents, they often pointed out toward the hills draped with olive trees. They emphasized that the olive branch is a symbol of peace. These branches also symbolize the profound connection we hold with our land, interwoven with a promise for peace for everyone. Those olive trees were nurtured by my ancestors. When I wear my keffiyeh, it reminds me of my parents, my land, our olive trees, our Palestinian heritage, and our non-stop pursuit of peace. As a Palestinian, my story is intertwined by that of Gaza. While I am with you here today, my soul is with the innocent people and children of Gaza. While children globally revel in the joyous anticipation of Christmas, dreaming of Santa Claus and presents, the children in Gaza endure an existence haunted by the warning hum of warplanes and bomb blasts. Many of the children continue to shake for hours after the bombing. 7,106 children have been laid rest in mass graves. Many surviving children bear severe injuries, with thousands enduring the agony of 40 to 80% burns, and countless others losing limbs and body parts. The doctors operate on them without anesthesia. They can offer them pain medications to ease their suffering during recovery. The acronym WCNSF, Wounded Child, No Surviving Family. Wounded Child, No Surviving Family, commonly echoes within Gaza's medical hospitals according to Doctors Without Borders. A child had a paper in her pocket with 27 names of her family members, pleading with doctors to find her loved ones under the rubble. Many are left orphaned in Gaza. Here are some of their stories with their own words. The paramedic asked a 10-year-old child in the ambulance, "Why are you carrying your school bag?" The child responds, "I'm carrying my little brother's remains." A 7-year-old girl, both legs injured, told a reporter, "I wish I could walk on my legs again like the other children, like my siblings. I wish I could play again." A wounded Palestinian girl about 12 years old shared, "Instead of being sad for losing a toy, I am sad because I'm watching my own leg rotten. Why, instead of asking my father for a gift, I'm asking him for a foot." End quote. As we speak, Palestinians above and below the rubble, faced with starvation, thirst, and displacement in the cold weather, caused by Israel's deliberate cessation of water and food supplies. 11-year-old child named Hamza from Gaza, while taking shelter at Al-Shifa Hospital, was asked by a reporter, "What do you hope to be in the future?" He replied, "An astronaut." The reporter asked again, "What would you wish for these days?" He said, "I would like to eat meat before I die." Against the prevailing public mood in Israel, many survivors of the October 7 massacres and relatives of those killed or kidnapped are opposing retribution in Gaza. Yutan Kibnes, whose father was murdered in the Hamas attack, said in his eulogy, "Do not write my father's name on a military shell. He wouldn't have wanted that. Don't say, God will avenge his blood. Say, may his memory be a blessing." Mikal Halav, the mother of Laor Abramov, who was murdered by Hamas, cried out in a video posted to Facebook, "I am begging the world, stop all the wars. Stop killing people. Stop killing babies. War is not the answer. War is not how you fix things. This country, Israel, is going through horror, and I know the mothers in Gaza are going through horror. In my name, I want no vengeance." End quote. In what world does a child repurpose a school bag to hold the remains of another child? In what world does a young child clutch a white flag, fleeing the bombardments just to avoid being shot? Where does a child hear the anguished cries of a sibling trapped under rubble? In what world both Israeli and Palestinian children are either detained without trials in Israeli prisons or held as hostages in Gaza, used as bargaining chips in a cruel game, where the sky rains bombs instead of Santa gifts? Despite the devastating loss of 7,106 Palestinian children, why hasn't this been enough to initiate a ceasefire? Why does a fabricated story of 40 beheaded babies provoke billions in military aid, furthering the killing of innocent children in Gaza? This is a world that is led by lying, racist and bigoted rhetoric and policies, emboldened with money and power. It is a world that is warmongering and priming all of us to accept the dehumanization and the killing of the innocent children in Gaza, whether Palestinian or Israeli. This is a world that is failing all of us, and most importantly, the innocent children on all sides. We refuse this world. We expose its shameful choices, and we demand a new world that is led by love, justice, and peace to all of us. Millions around the world, the West and the East, are unified in their call for a permanent ceasefire, for equal human rights for both Palestinian and Israeli children. These millions are inspired by these same powerful children. These children are moving all of us. Despite the starvation, injuries, haunting sounds of warplanes and bombs, blasts, these children continue to hold onto the hope and dreams. Despite their injuries and traumas, they voice simple yet profound wishes. To have a ceasefire, to find their family members, to walk again, to play like other children, to go home, to go back to school, to eat meat, and to dream of a future, even aspiring to be an astronaut. These children remind us of the incredible power we all have, the power of choice. The choice to love or hate. Which one do we choose? We have the power to love these children despite all lying propaganda, bigoted policies, and national interests. Our choices shape our destinies and the destinies of these children. What do we choose? Are we nurturing a love for humanity or feeding our biases? Are we comfortable in ignorance or brave enough to seek knowledge? Do we foster empathy for all children or selectively choose who to care for? Are we judging the oppressed without truly understanding their stories? These choices accumulate and hold immense power. They could either lead to or prevent these children's and their families' genocide? What choices are we making, hourly, daily, monthly, and yearly? Are we actively engaging our community in learning and empathizing with these children? A 12-year-old from Gaza was asked, "What is your dream when you grow up? What would you like to be?" The child's response was, "إحنا ما بنكبر." We, the children of Palestine, don't grow old. They kill us while we are young. While some children show remarkable courage, strength, and inspire hope, many others are losing hope. It's our duty to reignite their dreams and amplify our choices and voices for peace. In the words of Queen Rania of Jordan, peace means our children can sleep to a mother's soft voice, not screaming sirens, play with building blocks, not watch their homes destroyed, make friends, not lose them, dream of big plans for the future, not wonder if they would have one. Peace also means hope, and by raising your voices for peace, you're giving hope to millions around the world. Today, across the globe, individuals are making choices. I ask you not to stand idle by the atrocities, but to learn, educate, and join our movement against the killing of children and for the harnessing of their innate power to move our world for true peace. This Christmas, let us give the children a choice for them, a choice for the children. I want to end with this poem, a poem by Dr. Rafat Al-Arir, prominent Palestinian writer who has been killed in an Israeli attack in Gaza. He is the co-founder of We Are Not Numbers. Rifat harnessed the power of hundreds of young Palestinian children in Gaza into sharing their stories with the world. Many of these children have endured 5 wars in Gaza by the age of 11. 5 wars by the age of 11, including the most recent war. He wrote this poem 1 month ago before his murder, titled, "If I Must Die." If I must die, you must live, to tell my story, to sell my things, to buy a piece of cloth and some strings, make it white with a long tail, so that a child somewhere in Gaza, while looking heaven in the eye, awaiting his dad, who left in a blaze, and bid no one farewell, not even to his flesh, not even to himself, sees the kite, my kite you made, flying up above, and thinks for a moment an angel is there, bringing back love. If I must die, let it bring hope, let it be a tale. Visit our website, fieldsofpeace.org, and stand with us in raising your voice, promising our children an end to their killing. Let this Christmas be a testament to our commitment to peace and humanity. Together, let's raise our choices and voices for peace, promising a future where children can live, play, and dream without fear, where they are not numbers of a death count, but stories of hope and life, just like baby Jesus.